What up? What up? It is Alex, the Fantasy Football Hustler, and we're bringing you some more IDP content. We are continuing our IDP Divisional depth chart breakdown. We're moving on to the AFC South, and we're starting off with the division winners from last year. We're starting off with the Houston Texans, and oh man, if you got some, if you want to get some Houston Texans, you got to pay up for a lot of them. I mean, Will Anderson, he's the guy who everybody is paying up for in Dynasty right now. Probably going to be paying up for him in redraft as well. Danielle Hunter, he's another guy who people are usually paying up for. I love that duo. I just try to get whoever you could get later out of those two, because Danielle Hunter, the amount that he got paid, he's already going to go out there and kill it. But he got like pretty much a fully guaranteed deal. Like they threw a lot of money behind him and pretty much fully guaranteed the deal. Let's hope he stays healthy. He's a couple years removed from those crazy injuries. When we get to the linebacker spots, the linebackers, those are the guys who you're actually going to be able to get at extreme value. I like Henry H2O kind of the most out of all of these guys. You're actually able to get him like the latest. Azeez Al-Shaair, bringing him over here for the first. They're bringing him over here. Where was he at? He was with the Titans last year, I believe. Middle linebacker. Let's see what he does. Let's see what he does. The middle linebackers for Houston, they've been solid over the last couple years. You get guys like Denzel Perryman, who was over here doing pretty solid. Christian Harris, he's someone who in most redraft leagues, unless you're only playing with a couple spots, like he's going to be going as well. They have a very weird scheme over here, I would say, because they just, like, some games it'll be Christian Harris on the field a little bit more than some. And this was last year. So hopefully we just see Henry H2O on the field. He's going to be third man out, but I want to see him on the field. Like, they can get him on the field 60 or 70%. He's going to be a viable fantasy piece. Guy like Azeez Al-Shaair is going to be on the field probably 80+%. Same with Christian Harris, probably 80+%. But you got to draft those guys a little bit earlier. Their cornerbacks over here, Jeff Okudah. Because he sucks, sometimes he gets thrown out a lot. And he's been on the move for a couple years. I mean, what's this, his third team in 3 years? Derek Stingley, he's the guy who's more of like the shutdown corner. So I really wouldn't be trying to draft Derek Stingley. Maybe he gets a couple interceptions like here or there, but you really want the tackles. That's what it's all about. So if you're going for like a tackling cornerback, it'd be Okudah here for me, or even Miles Bryant, like probably going with the nickel back as far as if we want one of the tackling corners. I like both of their safeties over here, though, Jimmy Ward and Jalen Pitre. Once upon a time, Jalen Pitre was the number one DB in fantasy football. And can he get back to that? Yeah, he's got to stay healthy. I know that's been a little bit of his issue, playing banged up, getting hurt, missing a couple games here or there, but you can get him way lower than you were able to get him a few years ago. So I do the value on Jalen Pitre. And Jimmy Ward, he's pretty much free. He's probably not going to be a guy you want to start every week, but good bench depth. Houston Texans, they're going to be one of those teams. You're going to want the players from the IDP. Even though their offense is getting better, they have big playmakers on the IDP side, and that's what it's all about. Moving over to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the guy who we got to start with Josh Allen. Yes, Josh Allen on the Jaguars. If you guys play in an IDP league and you don't know about Josh Allen, shame on you. Shame on you. He's the guy who you're able to get with a little bit of value. And I know that he's a linebacker. If you are on Sleeper, way more of a cheat code because you can plug him in at the defensive line. That's why you guys should just be playing on Sleeper, because these guys like Josh Allen, guys like TJ Watt, it's nice being able to play them at the linebacker position. They're going to be good. But when you can plug them in at the D line, it's such a cheat code. And also on the line, Eric Armstead, you want to go with the cheapier, like maybe, but nah, it's Josh Allen or bust for me as far as like the guys who are considered the linemen. The guy who needs no introduction, Foye Oluokun, he's going to be going, I would say, top 5 no matter what in every single IDP league. If you play in leagues with us, he's going top 3 like everywhere. And yeah, he warrants it. Guy is just a tackling machine. He's been so consistent year after year. And then you go to the guy who's like Foye Oluokun light. And that would be Devin Lloyd, a guy who's been in the league for years and years, gets hella tackles, but yeah, he doesn't get as many as Foye Oluokun. The other linebacker, Trayvon Walker, just leave him there for somebody else. The most quiet 10 sacks ever in IDP history last year. Maybe he gets a third-year bump, but no, man. Josh Allen's too good on the other side. He's going to steal some sacks from him. Trayvon Walker, let one of your bum league mates draft him. Now, when it gets to the DBs for Jacksonville, we got no more Rashawn Jenkins over there. It's Antonio Johnson who jumped in over there as the strong safety. I don't even know who that is, but he's someone who we got to pay attention to because a strong safety spot for the Jaguars. It's been really great for a lot of years. I do like their free safety, though. Cisco. Let me hit that song. He's definitely someone who I'd be trying to get in one of my DB spots. He gets a lot of tackles. Now, Darnell Savage, he moved over here from the Green Bay Packers, and he's going to be their nickelback. That's going to be someone to pay attention to. I'm not really trying to get Ronald Darby or Tyson Campbell, any of their other corners, but Darnell Savage, he's going to be someone to look out for. I wonder how much he's on the field, and that's going to make a big difference. But yeah, I would say Antonio Johnson and Darnell Savage, put those guys on your watch list. And then the first couple games of the season, let's see what they do. Because if either one of them come out with like close to 10 tackles, like that's probably going to be the guy to roster. And you want to get them sooner rather than later. So we'll keep those guys on our radar. All right. And that's all I got to say about that. Let's jump over to the Colts. So on the line for the Colts, DeForest Buckner, and that's the guy to roster, even though he's an interior defensive lineman. He gets a lot of tackles. He gets a lot of sacks. And yeah, just a really consistent defensive lineman that you can draft pretty late. You don't got to get him early or anything. And that's like the best thing about some of these linemen is if you could get them late and they could be consistent enough. Can they throw up 10 points a week? That's really solid for a random D line that you get at the end. I do Quiddy Pay. Is he going to take a step up? Is he finally going to take a step up? I don't know. I like the projections of what he could be, but I don't like drafting him because it's been whack for what we really want. Samson, I want to talk to Samson Ebukam, another guy who I'll maybe put on my watch list and we'll pay attention to later. Grover Stewart, only in Dynasty would I really be drafting him. We're not going to be drafting him in any kind of redraft. But the guy who we are going to be looking to draft very early in all of our redraft leagues is going to be Zaire Franklin. He should be drafted no later than top 5, top 6. And that would even be in like some super casual leagues that they might not know about him. But he's been killing it for years. I think he finished, 4th overall last year in linebacker scoring. I think it might have been 4th overall in IDP scoring. The guy's just a tackling machine. He's got that tackling fuel. And yeah, I want him on as many teams as I could get him on. He's the man. EJ Speed. He's on the come up. He would be a guy who I'd be okay getting like super, super late. Depends on how many positions you play, though. Maybe he's bench depth for you. But he's been really solid. The guy who's been killing it for a lot of years is their nickelback, Kenny Moore. Hella tackles. He's someone who's going to get a lot of tackles. He's on the field a lot. Yeah, Kenny Moore. If you're looking for a DB, he would be one of those guys. Julian Blackmon came on a little bit last year. I'm not really targeting like him or Nick Cross or any of the other DBs, but Julian Blackmon would be the guy. Maybe I throw him on my watch list. And you want to check the guys who you're throwing on your watch list are guys who you're going to be looking at in like the first 2 or 3 weeks like of the season, because IDP guys, like there's going to be a whole bunch of guys who don't get drafted, who deserve to get drafted and will be top scorers at the end of the year. But it's once we get a couple games in, a lot of these free agents are going to be picked up. So we got to pick up those IDP guys who really show out in week 1 and take the chance on them to be that guy throughout the rest of the year. True. Yeah, Johnny said Kenny Moore busted a 50-point game last year. Still got it. Crazy. Tino said Zaire, Bobby, Queen, the last true MLBs. For sure. Zaire Franklin is the man. He's the man right in the middle over there. Colts are lucky to have him. That's for sure. Last team we're covering in the AFC South is those Tennessee Titans. And man, as far as like guys on the line, Sebastian Joseph Day, Tavondre Sweat, Jeffrey Simmons, maybe Jeffrey Simmons is one of those guys that you go after as like a late pick. I'm avoiding him like now. And there was a lot of games where he just underperformed, and that's how it is for the linemen. So avoiding just all those guys. Harold Landry, that might be the guy who I'm pretty sure on Sleeper, he has the dual designation where you can plug him in as a defensive lineman. And so, yeah, Harold Landry, if you're on Sleeper, you can throw him in as a DL. I might be looking to do that. The other linebackers, Ken Murray. I know that there's going to be a lot of hype around Ken Murray. I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. The guy's a bum. He only had a couple good games for the Chargers last year. I don't think he's going to come over to the Titans and have a breakout year in his 6th year in the NFL. So I'm just not messing with it. Not messing with Ken Murray. Jack Gibbons, probably the same thing. Probably not messing with him. These are guys, if you can get them late, sure, take a dart throw. But guys like Ken Murray are going way too early for my liking. Now, one of the guys who I will try to get in their DB spots, actually 2 DBs, L'Jarius Sneed and Roger McCreary. L'Jarius Sneed, just for the longest time, it's like NFL defenses, they haven't respected him for a long time. And maybe the last year in KC, maybe that was one of the years where he saw like less passes because teams were respecting him. I don't know. With the Titans, I feel like he's going to be a guy who comes over there, gets picked on a lot, and he's ready. He's ready to get picked on. He's going to get a shitload of tackles. Thibodeaux, another guy who pretty solid, and it's usually because the front 7 of the Titans, at least the scheme that they run, really tough to run right up the middle. So they just, compared to a lot of other cornerbacks on other teams, it just seems like they get a lot more work. But yeah, a lot had to do with the scheme in the front 7. Let's see how things change with the new regime over there. And there you have it. There's the AFC South. Make sure that you guys subscribe. If you are not subscribed here, subscribe, because there's not too many other YouTube channels that are bringing you any IDP heat and keeping you in tune with the IDP world. I play in a bunch of IDP leagues, and so I'm going to be bringing you the info, just what's needed. We're going to be bringing a top 25 IDP ranking very soon as well. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you watch out for new videos. Come catch us on the live streams as well. Turn on those notifications. Peace out.